Hey folks, Master None back to do a little update on my my Mosins. Well, at least this one for right now. About a month ago or a couple weeks ago, something like that, I bought two Mosin Nagant 9130s and spent like $350 for the pair. And I mean, you all know what Mosin Nagant look like, you know, with the usually around 28-inch barrel, all blued. What a lot of you may not know is that whenever right before they store these, if there's any pitting or anything like that, they take what seems like an Oxbow blue pen, or, you know, like a bluing pen, and they touch up all the pitting, all the scratches and scuffs and stuff like that, and they fix up the stock so that they look decent. So I figured get two because they're cheap enough. One of them I can sporterize, which I have done here, which is let me turn on the light. Oh, there we go. This is actually a shotgun stock that I've obviously heavily modified to fit. You can't even see the joint though, but it goes to right there, or well, right here. Basically, all I did is I chopped the stock of the original Mosin to right there, and then filed down and inletted so that this could slip over it. Put a big bolt through it to hold it together, and it's all epoxied on there, and that is Bondo over it. It's got the pistol grip, and as you can see, it pretty much matches up. It gives me the right feel. The length of pull on this is it's like 15 inches, and I don't know about the rest of you, but that feels pretty right for me. I'm not that big of a guy, but I guess I got broad shoulders or something. Because when I shouldered this thing, and I was, you know, testing it out, test fitting it, I go back to my Ruger American with its 13 3/4 inch length of pull, and it is pretty close. It's very, very short compared to this. But this, again, you know, it's comfortable. It's got that recoil pad on it. It's a hollow buttstock. I think I picked it up for like $30-40 online. Another obvious modification is I have polished the action to, I don't know, I wouldn't say high gloss, but it's pretty well polished. I've also polished the bolt, and I got in there and I cleaned that out real good. You can see that it is clear. I've also filed that down at a 45-degree angle, roughly, to help with ejecting. I have left the rear sight on it because I like iron sights. A lot of people know. First thing a lot of people do if they're going to sporterize this thing is they take this off and then they take out the base, and then they'll take that dovetail and either use it for a long eye relief scope, or they'll grind it off and, you know, redo the barrel. I'm planning on getting the rock solid mount for this, and then it's the one for Brown Owl, so I guess it's not really rock solid, the brand. So what it is it gives you the mount, the screws for the mount, and then it gives you a new bolt handle that you have to cut this off and leave a little bit of a shank, and then you drill a hole in the back of it, or the front of it, I can't remember. It's one or the other. You drill a hole in it, and it's got a set screw in it, and so it just basically bolts it down there. You could weld that on, but I mean, if you're like me and you don't have a welder, that's the next best option, because the rock solid, the mount plus bent bolt body combo is $160 before shipping. The one I'm getting from Brunel's is like $55 before shipping. So, I mean, that's just what you want to do. I have chopped the barrel to, I believe, that's 22 inches, 20 or 22. I don't quite remember. I was kind of going with it. I did a couple, you know, chopped a few off, 2-inch segments, so I don't quite remember. I have, let's see, with the muzzle, that, I got the, let's see if I can get that to focus. Okay. I got the some muzzle crowning tools from Brownells. The this is the 3/4 inch 90-degree tool with a 30 caliber guide in it, pilot. And then I got the roundover, the radius cutter, which if you're going to cut your Mosin barrel to less than about 24 inches, you're going to want to get the bigger size of this, because it took everything I had. I had to, first you'll notice that it is pretty well rounded. It's got quite a round shoulder on it. The reason I had to do that is because I took the file, I had to take a file to it and get it chamfered, and then I could get this to fit over it, and it took some doing. But it works really well. Just use lots and lots of cutting oil. And then I also got the, I should have gotten the bigger size of this, but the 11-degree cutter, I should have gotten the, 3/4 inch or something like that. This is the 1/2 inch one. Because if you go too deep with it, it'll leave a rim around the end of the muzzle that you have to file flat, or, like, I didn't. Like, I got it off of there. See, but anyway, you'll have to take the 90-degree cutter and cut that off, get it all smooth, and then you need a deburring tool, which I didn't have. So what I did was I took basically a really good nail set. I put it down in the end of the barrel and I twisted it a few times, and that got rid of pretty much all the burrs. Just make sure you do it evenly so you don't damage the rifling. Okay, other modifications. This is actually the the bipod mount, the sling swivel mount that I got for my Ruger. It is the exact same one. It is actually off of that one. It's set back 4 inches from the end, and I just basically, that's the sling hole, the original sling hole. It's the rear one, or the forward one, and I just cut the barrel, or the stock in front of that, and left the top metal off, and it is, I guess you can say it's free-floated. I didn't have acroglass or glass bedding or anything like that, so I used Bondo. Kind of a pattern going here. I mean, I had to do a couple layers of it, because, I mean, with how quickly it sets up, you don't want to do too much at one time. But it only bedded back to about right in here, because I didn't want to get all this in here and worry about that, because I figured if I'm going to do that the whole way, like if I'm really going to glass bed it, I'm just going to chip out the Bondo and do it right. I'm not really worried about it. This is just, you know, this is a $150 gun, so I mean, what are you going to do? It's a project gun, basically. I have currently on the way a front sight. Actually, a couple of them that hopefully will fit. They are the band type, and they just basically slip on and you solder them on. And then one of them has a set screw, but I don't think I'll need it. I mean, I'll see what I got. There will be an update video on that. You'll notice that instead of having the rear spring hole in the stock, I put it in the bottom of the pistol grip, and I had to readjust the buckle to move toward the bottom more. Otherwise, it was going to interfere with the bottom of my hand, because when you grab like that, you can see that it just barely misses. But with the way that this is set up, it positions my finger perfectly. So that's the way it is. So I mean, it's just my take on sporterizing a Mosin. I mean, it's not like I'm telling you how to do it, because I would have had some tutorial videos if I was going to do that, but being as this was my first time messing with a Mosin, it was kind of trial and error. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it for now. I'll have, you can look for my other video of the 1920 Mosin that I restored, or I'm almost done restoring at this point. It's a hex receiver. It's a hex receiver. It's got, instead of, see if I can find one, the barrel band retaining pins, retaining springs. This is what they look like. They are solid metal. It's all one piece. This is the forward one, I believe. I pop those up. Basically, all you gotta do is get a nail set that has a cup in the top of it, and start it. Get it, you know, an 1/8 inch in. When you're looking at it like this, it'll be. Let's see, mine was right about here. It was on this side. It'll stick out. Look for the little dot on this side, and then tap it a few times with the nail set, and then get a 1/16 inch punch and drive it all the way out. But you want to be careful, because those punches will get stuck if you get them too far. And then you get a pair of pliers and twist it out, and you might break your punch, you might crack your stock, whatever. Another note on this particular stock. This is the top wood that came with it, as you can hopefully see. It is just stamped steel. Like the other one that I got, the 1920s, you can tell it was higher end. It was not really the mass production type, because it has a lot more care taken. Of course, you know, the hex receivers take a lot more work. Like I said, this one didn't have the solid. It had, here we go, here's the forward one that broke off. It's just a stamped piece of steel, just a little thin piece of spring steel, kind of. It's not really springy at all. But, yeah, that's the main reason I did this one versus the 1920s one, because this one looked to be in a little rougher shape, so I could do more with it to make it look better. The 1920s model, or 1920 model, because it's stamped 1920 right across the barrel. This one's 1943, but the other one, it was in pretty rough condition for as many rifles as I've seen. It was in rough condition, but not so bad that you couldn't work with it. But yeah, we'll be uploading a video of that at the same time as this, or shortly after this one. Feel free to comment, like it, do whatever, you know, questions, ask me. So that about wraps it up. See you next time.